A llama walks into a bar with his friend Al with a bunch of luggage. And his friend Al is unpacking everything. Llama says, the bartender says, get out of here. And he says, okay, I'll just have Al alpaca.
So what do you guys think about the Improv City show so far?
It was really funny. Everybody's, I don't know, funny.
I mean, I give them props for being able to do that. That's amazing, because I can't do that.
He's like, what do you have? He's like, I just want a sandwich. And the bartender's like, okay, you want any beers? He's like, no, I want turkey, I want chicken, I want pastrami, I want every type of meat you have. And the bartender's like, really? Why do you want so much meat? He's like, because I'm the deli llama.
Orange County, California is a tourist center with attractions like Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Mission San Juan Capistrano, Angel Stadium, the Honda Center, and several popular beaches that run along its more than 40 miles of coastline. With over 3 million people, Orange County has much to offer in entertainment, especially live theater and comedy. One of those is ImprovCity, an improv comedy troupe that has been producing live comedy shows since June of 2009. Located just 35 miles south of Los Angeles, and sometimes called Orange County's best-kept secret, ImprovCity has carved out a space for improv comedy behind the orange curtain. And while small in comparison with its LA neighboring improv theaters, ImprovCity has become the largest home for improvisation in Orange County.
I really love the show. I've been here numerous amounts of times, and I think it's best that it's different every time, and, it's always something new.
Yeah, this is my first time, and I had a great time laughing the whole way through.
Talk about black box theater. This place was a little tiny hole in the wall, with some chairs and a stage about the size of 2 sheets of plywood, and but it was funny.
It was a very welcoming and positive feeling. They wanted to be there, and they wanted to bring you into their world, to their community, and show you what they have. And I think that radiates to the audience. The audience feels that. The audience feels like they are being brought in and hugged with comedy arms, and the audience enjoys that.
It's like a family. It's an improv family, and I think everybody that's part of Improv City feels that way, whether you're part of the main stage troupe or performers with the Sunday troupe. Everybody feels like a great big family. Everybody's supportive and positive, and it's just been such a positive impact on my life as someone who is kind of an introvert and kind of shy, to be able to go and perform in front of people who want to see what we do and appreciate it, and you be there with your friends, and it's just it's one of those things that if you're having a rough day, you show up in improv and it's all better. It's a really big, important part of my life.
Improv City came to me in an interesting time. I came to the troupe at an interesting time in my life. I had just recently lost my father. He had a cancer, and I had taken care of him. And during the course of being with him and caring for him, I signed up for an improv class. And it just as a night to kind of provide me with an escape, kind of get out of the house, clear my head, and just take my mind off of things. And so I use it as a therapeutic for me in a sense. And it was a 8-week course. And at the end of the 8-week course, the teacher approached me and said, hey, you're pretty good at this. You should pursue it. And I didn't know pursue what he meant. And it was 8 months after that time that I one day just randomly typed in improv auditions, and it came to me that that night Improv City was holding auditions. And my father had passed since then. And so I went and got a part on the troupe. And so I had experienced a tremendous loss, but at the same time, I just all of a sudden had gained a new family.
It was a well-rounded community inside Improv City. And the other thing is I found Improv City to be a very supportive environment. They appreciate all the differences, and they appreciate that not everybody has the same level of improvisation skills. And but they still encourage everybody. Everybody gets something out of it. And so I just like the atmosphere of building everybody up in it. And I've met some wonderful people.
I thought this was really cool. Like everybody was really warm and welcoming and funny. I thought, okay, I'd like to come back. So yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time, and love meeting everybody there.
It's community. It's a good group of people who just get together and have fun, and just it's nice.
It was a small, tight-knit, almost family type of group of like-minded improvisers, young and old, me being more on the older side. And we did shows, we rehearsed and did shows. I think it was once a month at first, and then maybe once a weekend, and then twice a weekend, and more. And it's just been growing ever since.
I found water. That was 2 hours ago. You just got back? You're welcome. Sorry, man. I'm so thirsty.
I walked for a mile with a bucket of water from the middle.
You walked the bucket of water away already?
No, I brought it back.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'm confused.
Come. Quench your thirst.
It's your choice.
Come, watch me drink. Oh, it's spilling everywhere.
Improv City has always, since I've joined, just been like a nice place to go, to be surrounded by people who are as weird as you and are as accepting as you. And they just, it really is a family because you're stuck with them. I didn't choose them. But I like them, and I'll do anything for them at the end of the day.
Improv City started from a group of friends getting together once a week to practice short-form improv games in a converted dance studio garage back in March of 2009. By June of that same year, the group decided to put on a show for their family and friends. Having had such a fun time at the performance, they decided to do another show a month later, and then another, and another. Thus, Improv City was born. Today, Improv City produces and performs up to 8 shows a week.
Try this Martinelli's. Try our finest wine.
Good.
Would you like another?
I'd like 4 more.
It tastes very lollipoppy. I like lollipops.
Here, have another.
There you are.
Ah!
Oh my God, it's me again.
Oh boy. Lucky me. Are you gonna slap me again?
No, I'll put my hands in my pocket.
That makes me more nervous.
I live in Los Angeles, and here in Los Angeles there are some big comedy theaters, and in a way they have traditionally ran a lot of what's happening with comedy education and performance. Improv City is important because it's not one of the big second cities and UCBs. It's created by people who love comedy. It's a small business, and they support other comedians, and they've brought comedy to a place that isn't Hollywood.
It's a place where people can really come and have a good laugh with friends and family. It's a place where they can get away from whatever mundane things they're going through in their lives, or just get away from their everyday life and take a break. I think is a gem really in Orange County, because there's not really a lot of things similar to what they can offer in Orange County. So I think it's important to have it and to keep it going.
When you think of Southern California, you oftentimes think of Hollywood or, music industry, and you think big. Improv is something that is simple. Improv is something that can be big, it can be small. So to me, what Improv City represents, it represents the chance to create laughter and fun and energy in a venue that feels like your own backyard. It feels like a bunch of friends just getting together and making strangers laugh.
You've heard the phrase, it's better to be lucky than good. Well, I'm lucky. Let's just say I'm lucky. And because when we started auditioning people, there were a lot of talented people that didn't even make the troupe. And, and that's the reason I feel lucky. Yeah, I am lucky.
Thy irises gleam like emeralds in a pool of stool. Grant me your wishes.
First, I wish to be out of this pool of stool.
You could tell it was a very supportive community, like the type of community you want to improvise with. Like all the improvisers there were like very energetic, and you knew whatever you went on stage and did, they were going to back it up and they were going to take it and run with it.
But Improv City, because it has that level of creativity to it, its importance to Southern California is that people who come to see that show, not only the performers, but the audience members, are all part of the creativity of it. And as a result, they leave happier, they leave in a better mood, they leave feeling having been a part of something, they leave having felt as if they were part of a community. And those things are critical in this society today that is so divided by social media and so divided by politics.
We live in a time, and we probably always did, I just didn't see it, but right now it seems especially, we live in a time of the acerbic comment. We live in a time of who can tear down that thing the fastest, right? Somebody puts out something, and rather than celebrating it and like being like, wow, that's great, can I learn from this thing? What can I gain? What can I gain by viewing this art? We do not hesitate to pull it down, right? Everybody thinks they can do everything. Everybody is a critic of everything. Everybody is just whatever. Somebody just is putting out their drawing for the first time, or putting out their voice for the first time, or putting out some kind of sculpture, some kind of art at all for the first time. And it's the first comment, the first 20 comments are all just lame, stupid, reductive, or some kind of thing. And that's just the opposite of what you experience with improv. Improv is a place where every idea is celebrated.
Further to that, I think it's also therapeutic in a way. It's an outlet for people to really unwind from the reality, the immediate sense of what's in their lives, like a job or the stresses of the real world out there. And, this provides a fantastic outlet, I think, for people to laugh a bit, take the edge off, and really end their probably hectic, frantic, and overly stressful week with a way to get the soul laughing.
Well, Improv City is one of the few professional improv troupes south of Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a lot of professional improv troupes like Upright Citizens Brigade, the Groundlings, Second City, but they don't have any or they don't have very many here in Orange County in Southern California. And Improv City, in the 7 years I was associated with it, we ended up becoming one of the best comedy clubs in Orange County, or I think even Southern California. So it's a proud time for me because I was part of that.
Improv City has been honored with numerous awards and accolades over the years, including being hailed as the best comedy improv club by the LA Times, the best venue for live comedy by the OC Weekly, best live theater by Times OC, and best date in Orange County by CBS Los Angeles, just to name a few. Improv City has had over 100 main stage cast members in the course of its short history. Many have gone on to great careers in acting, voiceover, music, and other entertainment areas. Over the years, Improv City has also had a few special guests drop by and perform with the cast. Famous guest stars of TV, radio, and film have all graced the Improv City stage and shared a laugh with the cast.
One of the first shows I went to was by the Orange County Airport at a hotel. There was a performance happening in the lobby. I went to it and I sat down and there was Andy Dick. So, okay, comedians seek out improv. Okay, I'm gonna learn more about this.
The thing I was amazed about when I worked there was that one night that I worked there was 2 shows we did, by the way, was the demographics of the audience. It went from late teens to elderly and everything in between. So it really draws people in. I think it's very important to have a venue like this for people to go to. It gives them so many more options and an enjoyable night out.
So it was like 5 nights a week or 5 shows a week, and there was always an audience. They had people that showed that this was a good place to be. This was good entertainment. So who, as an artist, would not want to be a part of a group of people that you actually get to perform and entertain?
How lucky am I to be able to get to practice, to get in front of an audience, and really hone my craft as an improviser.
And this is getting me all choked up here just thinking about this. One of the things that is most valuable when performing in improv is to look out in the audience and see people who, they came for a laugh, but they got so much more than what they expected. Their stomach is hurting because they're laughing so hard. They're walking out going, "Oh my God, my cheeks hurt."
Oh, please! No! I'm backing on with it! I'm an alcoholic! Can we please get back to the subject? I'm an economist! Let's get back on the subject. Okay, I'm back on the subject.
And just seeing that on an ongoing basis over and over, the effect you're having on people doing improv. How do you pick one? Favorite memory? Is it that one person who literally fell over on the floor because they were laughing so hard they couldn't breathe, they almost passed out? Or is it when you had the sold out mega show and the place was erupting? Is it the comments you get as they're leaving the show and we're high-fiving everybody? How do you pick one? How do you pick a favorite out of all that?
And you just get a high and you're hooked. It's different from theater because there's an excitement and adrenaline that's more than what you would get maybe missing a turn in a dance or missing a line. There is no script. There is no course. You just have to go with the flow. And once you start improv, it's pretty addictive.
A comedian says funny things, and a comic actor says things funny, but an improviser tells stories. An improviser, really what we're doing is we're telling stories, and the stories most of the time get ridiculous when we're telling them. And they have funny elements in them because we are real people reacting to ridiculous elements, right? We're real people reacting to stuff. We don't make jokes, we make connections, right? We don't make jokes, we make points, we have beats in a scene. We tell a story through this medium of improv, right? Through the medium of the stage.
There's no, would you call it, animosity or anger or anything like that towards the audience or the other players. Someone makes a mistake, they laugh it off, and they use it as part of the improv. And that's true improv, and that's a true style.
All right, it looks like you're in need of some shellfish, but also some digestive problem solution.
What? I did not see that.
Look, let me just go here to my tank of octopuses, and let me give you this really nice laxative octopus.
My hands are...
All right, just suck on the testicles.
Give me a group of people from history or from pop culture.
The BG, I don't know.
The BGs! So you are revolting against the BGs. BGs!
Improv City performs shows all year round. On Friday and Saturday nights, their early shows feature PG-13 family-friendly content, and their late shows are uncensored. Improv City also produces Thursday and Sunday evening shows performed in their traditional short-form improv format, followed by a second evening show on these nights that change from week to week. Many of these Thursday and Sunday later shows feature Improv City house teams, which consist of smaller groups of performers doing different types of improv shows, ranging from long-form improv shows to sketch comedy shows to stand-up comedy shows to musical showcases and more.
Children, today is going to be Spirit Day, so I'm going to get the Ouija board. Now come over here and put your hands on them and repeat after me. Damien, Lord of Darkness. Damien, Lord of Darkness. Take over my childish soul. Take over my childish soul.
Excuse me, campus police. What's the problem here?
No, it's throwing my trash away and this neighbor just happened to
Man looks disturbed.
I've been
running and not
looking back for days.
I want you two to know there's a band of cross-dressing hitmen around. Look out for them, okay? If you hear anything, you let me know. I had a run-in with them. We need to stop them. You gotta lead me to them. I've been on their case for 8 years. I'm pretending to be a student at this place.
Okay, Rita, I gotta send a telegraph. Take this down, okay? And take it down and send the telegraph as I talk it, okay? Western Union, 833, Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. No, Western Union. You have Western Union on the top, okay? Lincoln, Nebraska. I am going to rob you in exactly 6 days. No, I shouldn't tell them that.
I'm going to rob you. No, I shouldn't tell you that.
No, stop. No, go back. No. Yes, send it, yes. When I married you. Please stop.
Okay, that's all the money we have.
A few times throughout the year, Improv City produces specialty shows which feature a theme for the evening. Some of these shows include a comic book day show, a Lumberjack show, a zombie show, and Improv City's most successful specialty show, The Survivor Show.
At the end of 2019, I was doing Musical Rumble, which is where you make up a song on the spot, and I got Screamo, and my topic was puppies. And I just really went for it and felt so cool, and people were supporting me, and the audience was loving it, and it just felt really great to do something that was very outside of my comfort zone while also being really fun.
See it!
Let me tell you something about those bears! Fluffy! They're full of all the stuff! It's so stuffy! I got a puppy! His name is Rumpy! He has eyes on his drum! I call him Rumpy! Let me tell you! That's a lie! It's super hard! Yo, I'm a girl! And it's hard out there for girls! Listen, can I just take a moment and tell you about some serious issues that I have?
Another one that was really funny and memorable was when I was in the Survivor Series, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think I was like one of the last two. I was doing a face-off, and I remember how I got eliminated.
You guys have actually made it into the second half of the show, so congratulations, Jeff and Chris.
They would draw names, or they would write down names of who they were selected to stand, I believe. And when it came to pulling out the names, Devin had pulled out a name, and we all assumed it was me when he had pulled out the name and read the name Deceit instead of to keep.
Here we go with the first vote, and I believe this is a spelling thing, but I'm going to say it phonetically. That it would be for, it says deceive.
So it was pretty funny. We still kind of get a laugh about that. But there was a lot of memorable moments. So those are some of the ones that jump out.
So a particular moment doesn't come to mind, but David Rubel flashes in my mind. He would kill it during joke barrage at the end of shows, where he would say a joke that would end the show in eruption and applause and laughter, including us on stage. I would often break when he was a part of performances. Sometimes he'd make jokes that weren't jokes. They didn't make sense. They came from outer space.
All right, David, what do you think you're doing?
I'm race car driving.
Okay.
Or racing, and instead of the car, it's a banana.
Okay.
And I'm with someone who was put down by Condi Rice. And I'm laying in the dirt, rotten, and I'm wearing my best. But I don't care. I belong here. Dust is drying up, I'll blow away. You'll never see me again. No, not any day.
We were playing a game called Object Freeze, and we take objects from the audience and use them for other purposes in a mini scene. And David took this lint roller, miniature lint roller, and put it on the ground and jumped on it with both feet, full force, just smashing it into little plastic pieces. And he goes, "Look at me, I'm on a skateboard." And the audience member laughed, and she's like, "That's funny. Don't have a lint roller anymore," but that was funny.
You are going to go to strange places with improv. You may find yourself inside a volcano speaking Latin, or turned inside out inside an animated movie. You never know. So you just go with the flow and learn to adapt and have fun and support each other.
It might not be something that you want to do as a career, but it's such a valuable skill to have if you have in any career anyway, because life in general is improv. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what you're always going to do next. But if you can learn how to access that part of your brain to allow you to kind of just roll with the punches and then just go in and do the next thing, that's a valuable skill.
ImprovCity has really allowed me to kind of come out of my shell. Growing up, I was never a really confident kind of a person, nor was I a big extrovert in terms of my personality. I've always been kind of shy and shy of expressing my own opinions. Being on stage and the confidence that it gives me to do improv regularly with ImprovCity, and the encouragement that I constantly get from the coaches that I have at ImprovCity, sort of started reflecting in my behavior in school as well. I mean, I was more open to putting out my ideas in discussions in classrooms, as well as putting out my ideas in general when I'm talking to some of my business associates as well.
Everybody would benefit, everybody, every walk of life, every age, everybody. Everybody should do improv, huh, Kitty? Yeah, everybody do improv.
So if you're a new improviser, I mean, the only advice that I would give you, not the only advice, I got a lot of advice. The number one bit of advice that I would give you is be happy to be afraid and fail, right? Don't worry about failing. Don't worry about looking stupid. Don't worry about doing it wrong.
I think the biggest thing, if you're new to improv, is to just try it. Honestly, I have never met someone who's new to improv who I've thought, wow, they are just going too hard, or they are way stepping out of their bounds. I just always want them to know that I am in their corner and supporting them. And a huge thing when you're starting anything new is that you feel super self-conscious about it, and so you think everyone else is paying super close attention to you. And I just really feel, especially with members of ImprovCity, that people really want to see you succeed.
Everybody is supportive in improv. The basis of improv is to support each other. And I think that also, bleeds off stage where, so currently I live in Minneapolis. It's a lovely town, Minneapolis, here behind me. We have a very strong community in the improv world to not only support each other, but really support initiatives in terms of diversity and inclusion.
I would give new improvisers 2 pieces of advice. One is careful, it's addictive. Improv can take over your life. And 2, with stand-up, the audience is against you in the beginning and you have to prove that you're funny. With improv, you step out on stage and everyone wants you to succeed. So if you're scared about performing and being funny, there's less, it's a more positive relationship with the audience that you'll experience.
My advice for new improvisers is yes and. Oh, I should say that to the camera. My advice for new improvisers is yes and. Ba-bam! You're good at improv now. You are welcome. Okay.
Our artistic director, Devin Dugan, wow, what an amazing person. And if I had to pick like one little thing where I talk about Devin Dugan, I would have to talk about, just having a heart this size. He invests so much into the people who are in this troupe that he doesn't even get recognized for. Yet he gives and gives and gives.
I would just like to take this time to show you the dedication that Devin puts into his troupe. He gives you, as a troupe member, baseball cards of yourself. These will be worth a lot someday. So it's throughout the years I can look at these different cards that he's made, and it'll have the stats and dates on the back. For example, here's when I first did stand-up. Thanks, Devin. Now I know it was September 26, 2014. Also, this is the time that I performed on Second City stage in Hollywood, and it's memorialized in this cute baseball card. So thank you. And of course, who can forget my quote of the year? We have to put our nuts together and figure out what happened.
You know, I just wonder what's outside of her shell, you know, like what happened before the big nut.
The ghost one nut said there was nothing before the big nut. There was one big nut and it was cracked.
You know, we're smart enough to know what happened through that crack.
I'm scared, right side.
We have to put our nuts together and figure out what happened.
Devin, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have remembered that I ever said this in 2014, and now it's forever memorialized on this piece of wood. So thank you.
Devin is, first of all, very, very talented. As an improviser, he is, when you're in a scene with him, you know you can trust him that he is going to give you some wonderful improvised gifts, and that you will get to yes and that the scene is going to be fun, quirky, different.
Oh man, when I first saw, like, I had seen Devin teach a few classes, but I had never really seen him like up on stage a whole lot. Whenever I did go to the show, it just so happened he was either working sound or hosting, but I didn't get to really see him play too much. And then when I did see him play, I was blown away, and I was like, I want to learn from this guy.
A moment I can think of is it was just a regular Friday or Saturday night show, and we were doing the game where we basically get someone's first date from the audience. There's a couple there, and we asked them about their first date, and it was at New Year's, and we basically had to reenact or make up what we thought that New Year's date was. And so I was in the scene with Thomas, another troupe member, and Devin was in that scene. Devin started counting down the ball dropping to the new year, and I had to basically smack Thomas's mimed drink out of his hand and grab his face and plant a big kiss right there in the middle of the stage. And nobody was expecting it. I think most of all Thomas. So that was definitely entertaining for me, and hopefully for the audience as well. I know Devin was entertained.
As someone who's done a two-man show with him, his style of improv, gosh, how can I describe it? He will challenge you. He will always challenge you in the moment, and he'll react to you. He's very, very much just a dynamite player.
I've known Devin for, I think, over 20 years. And when I first met Devin, I was new to improv, and he was a more accomplished performer, and he was someone that I looked up to. He was so funny. He always had sort of a way in scenes to make them better. And I saw him, I was like, man, I want to have that confidence, and I want that ability. And anytime you see someone like that, it's always a little intimidating. But with Devin, he was never intimidating. He had that ability to make you feel welcome, to talk to you, to have a conversation with you, and not like be like, oh, you should do this, but like have a conversation about comedy and the scene, or just ideas in general that made you feel welcomed. And I think that's why Improv City has that feeling of welcome.
I had done Second City improv and sketch with him. That's where I first met him, probably back in like 2001. And every time I shared a scene with him, he was always so giving, and you literally knew every time you went on stage with him, he was going to take whatever you gave him and run with it. Like, he was never going to be that guy that just was like, nah, we're gonna do what I think. He would take whatever you gave him, and that's what I think Devin brings to Improv City, is that feeling of like, hey, whatever we do on stage, let's go with it. Let's not knock down an idea. No idea is a bad idea with Devin. Like, he'll just, whatever you give him, he will take it and grow it.
Well, first of all, he's a very talented improviser. He's probably one of the most talented improvisers I've ever known in my life. As a troupe leader, he's passionate. He wants you to learn all the games, memorize all the games, of course. He likes to have fun, too.
Oh, well, you know, when you look at me, you say, that guy, he don't do nothing all day. No, I don't. I sit on the couch and I watch NASCAR as I slowly slouch. All the cars go by. Whiz, boom, wow. The cars go by, but I like when the cars go pow.
It's a great guy to be around. I'm proud to say that Devin Dugan has been my friend for 10 years and hopefully many more years to come.
When you work with somebody like Devin, who's a master director and teacher, you're going to be with somebody who really understands the essence of improv. It's not just yes and. It's creating characters and performance and projection and attitude. And he knows all these things in order to create a very funny character, to play the games correctly. I don't think I had a better teacher.
I'm also sorry I'm late. I was stuck on the 405. It wasn't traffic, I just literally was standing there.
You know, Devin still gives the notes, but he does it in such a low-key, supportive, friendly way that you almost don't feel like a note was given, yet you got the direction and you got the point, you know. So he gives notes in such a way that he gives the note and you understand what needs to change, or you understand what you could have done better or what you'll do better the next time. But it doesn't feel critical. It doesn't feel harsh. It doesn't feel evaluative. It just feels like, you know what? Here's what you should have done. And you go, yeah, I should have done that. So his note giving and his ability to direct the group and keep the group together and cohesive is pretty astounding.
Devin has so many artistic ideas in his brain to the point where he's from outer space. He has to be. And I think that he's an amazing teacher, a wonderful person to be around, and just very sincere and sweet.
If you don't know he's the artistic director and you just see him on stage, and anybody who's come to a show to see me and Devin's in the show, they always talk about how good Devin is. And it's not because he's like over the top and showboating and just like me. It's just like these little additives that he adds in, and he does it so subtle and so perfectly, which is the way improv and comedy should be done. It's just these little subtle additives, because he just, you know, he's cool if he messes up and he's cool if he doesn't. So yeah, he's kind of extremely talented in improv.
Every time I'm with Devin, I learn something from his improv style, his laid-back demeanor, and his ability to find the funny in everything. Devin will be very happy to sit in the back of an improv scene, not being the center of attention, and then coming with the jokes. And whenever you're on stage with Devin, he's supporting you 100%. And sometimes that's a rare thing to find in improvisers, is someone who gets on stage and makes you feel better.
Devin was in a film of mine called Too Hip for the Room. And we had worked together from that. So my description of Devin, after I got to know him a little more, he's truly into comedy and comedians, to the fact that he has comedians tattooed on his arm. So that was nice to hear, because a lot of people that are into comedy, that get into comedy maybe to just get a sitcom or something, they don't really know about the past comedy, comedians in the past. But Devin does. Devin's really into it.
Dinosaur suggestion for your Shakespearean soliloquy. Devin, you have a minute. You ready? Ready. Here we go.
I come forth upon the bar, lay eyes upon thee. Some may call thee a cougar, yet you are too old. You are no the brand of dinosaur. Nonetheless, your gaze does perplex me, and it is you who I wish to take home this eve and lay lip upon lip like lions shoot a gazelle in the evening. Wait! Fear thee not, I'm a man of honor. I will buy you dinner first. And they say thee, you are here seeking shelter from the rain. Yet, rain it shall, from my heart to you. I shall love thee like no other till the morn rises and I escape And you, dinosaur, with memory of old, shall not recall my name, for I shall lie upon the eve. I shall tell you my name is Mike when it is not. And you will remember, for that one night, the man named Mike, who was not named Mike, and labeled me dinosaur, and was no longer there, for our love became extinct.
And he's a special human being. He's touched a lot of lives. And so do you think how many people have come through those doors and laughed? And he's provided laughter to so many people. He's a very special person. And so, Devin, you're out there, you're listening. I want to thank you. Thank you for all the opportunities you've provided to me and to all the ways you've included my family in your creations.
There's all kinds of, I guess, different styles of improv, from Robin Williams to Jonathan Winters to you name it. But with Devin, it's down to earth, just wonderfully gifted attitude. His style is very direct. It's funny. And I think that's the bottom line, being funny.
I used to study a lot at Second City and Improv Olympic up in Los Angeles, and Improv Olympic is no longer there. And it was such a great place you could go as a community and sort of hang out with friends and perform and watch other performers. And that's how you grow as a performer. And I feel like that's what Improv City brings to Southern California, is that sense of like home. It's sort of a place where you can go and not just learn, but you sort of create a family environment there with the other performers. And that's what you need to make really good improv, is that trust and that familiarity with the other performers, where it's like you get on stage and you're having fun with people. You're not performing for an audience so much as you are just sort of, you're up there with your friends and you're taking chances and risks. And I guess at the heart of it, you're making each other laugh. And I think that's good for any community. And from the shows I've done at Improv City, I've always known the audiences that come there, you almost feel like they're regulars, and they come and they see a different show every week, and they're supportive, and they get to know you, the performer, and you get to know them as a returning customer. It's just a really great little sense of community that Improv City brings to the area.
I think what they do for Southern California, and really what they can do outside of even Southern California, is of great vital importance.
I think improv as a whole not only just brings enjoyment from a performance sense, but also from a moral or community sense, in terms of it's greater than that, whether through volunteerism or supporting initiatives within your theaters to help grow awareness of issues. So I think that improv is so important to community, and through my experience have just learned that and been immersed in that.
One of the great things that they've done is Improv City High, where they've gone out to high schools and helped teach them and cultivate the great skills, life skills that they have that improv provides, helping them become leaders in that sense and really cultivate their own personality as they develop and grow as young adults. So Improv City is just another great landing point for Southern California as far as those who want to indulge themselves in improvisational comedy, or just have it as a launching pad, whether they're writing skits or looking to polish up their acting or their wit. So it's a great place, and it's definitely community oriented.
Improv City has always been active in supporting the community it entertains. From volunteering at charity events to performing for nonprofit organizations to establishing after-school programs for local area elementary and high schools, Improv City believes in giving back to its fan base and supporters.
The whole community gets involved with it. Suggestions come from the audience. You're not going to get that from any other kind of entertainment. You can't get that from going to a movie. If you shout suggestions at the movie, people generally get pretty mad at you, throw popcorn and whatnot. But not at Improv City. We won't throw anything at you except for applause and smiles.
It's like less than the cost of a movie, and you get to go there and just laugh with your friends, and you get to participate, throw out suggestions.
You're never all that far from the stage. We actively encourage participation for feeding us suggestions for what to do on the stage, and we certainly thrive on the laughter and the feedback of a live audience.
Last one, say a good one for last one.
Traffic. You're naked and your parents come home.
For whatever reason, you're naked when your parents come. Sounds like a horrible situation, I guess. How are you going to get out of that one? Naked when your parents come home.
Tell him just got out of the shower. Just put a towel on. Just tell him, hey, Mom, I've seen you like this. Clothes. Tell him you've become a nudist. Tell them this is this new style. Tell them that if you don't appreciate me, that I'm leaving home. Tell them that you've learned to love your body and you don't want to cover it up. Cover yourself with chocolate and tell them you want to be sweet. Tell them you didn't want to get your clothes all dirty. Tell them that this is what you had to do to join the school band. Tell them that if they don't appreciate you, you will hug them right now. Tell them that you had a horrible shaving accident and you just need to cool down for a few minutes. Tell them that one of your hot-looking neighbors was watching you and you wanted to give her a gift. Tell them that you have a rash and you don't want to put it on because it hurts your body to have it on there. Tell them you decided to only wear dresses and you don't have any. Tell them that you are wearing clothes, but they're very, very small and in a very private place. Tell them you were watching Harry Potter and you thought you had a cloak of invisibility. Tell them that unless they give you $100, you're going to run to the neighbor's house and say, this is what they do to me. Tell them your girlfriend's blind and she only reads Braille. Tell them that you only will love them in case they run away in fear. Tell them you were afraid someone was breaking into the house. You thought if they saw how ugly your body is, they would leave you. That's gonna win.
I've had people come up to me years after a show and say, "Oh yeah, I love that show where you were the bartender on the moon." I personally don't remember that scene, but it did make an impact in their lives, where it stood out to them, and it was a memorable experience.
It changes people. It really changes people, and I've actually had people come up to me years after seeing me perform at an improv show with ImprovCity, and they go, "You're that improv guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. Do I owe you money?" No, okay, good.
And anytime a group of people can come together and unite in something positive, like laughter, I think the world's a better place. I know it's not going to change the world, but for those couple minutes or that hour, but it affects people. It makes them feel better. It allows us to laugh at ourselves, to laugh at our culture, our society. It's a reflection of who we are and who we want to be on stage. And when I see people united in that, it's the most humbling and satisfying feeling that I know. And I think that's why I'm a performer.
So yeah, I just hope that the people who come to see us leave happier than they arrived. That's all. And if we do that, if they leave and they're happier than when they got there, then that's great. Whether I did well or not, doesn't matter. Did the audience leave happier than it arrived? That's all that matters to me.
The impact that ImprovCity has had on me and my life is that I did learn some skills. I did learn some performance skills because I wanted to be an actor. But I also learned some life skills. I learned how to react in spontaneous situations. And those are really, those are things that are valuable in life.
I feel so passionate about improv, and being in a place with other people that really care about it and also care about me makes me want to do it more and makes me want to pursue all other avenues of improv as well and just keep learning as much as I can.
And it allows me to get away from my normal life, if that makes sense. When I leave all my worries and all my trials and tribulations at the door, and I just get to go in with a group of fun people and get to make comedy. And it provides a great balance for me in my life.
It was really awesome to work with a bunch of talented, funny, witty, quick on their feet actors and actresses, and it was really a meaningful time for me. It was short, but I really appreciated it and I treasure it.
It's an important part of my life. So they're family to me, and it means a lot.
It was just such a joy. So it's meant a lot to me.
Yeah, it's affected and impacted me and my family and my friends' lives a whole lot.
I don't regret a single day that I ever was on Improv City. Improv City was just always such a wonderful journey for me.
So thank you, Improv City. Janae would not be Janae without you.
The arts are part of our society. We can't live without it. And that's why Improv City is so important. It's there as a beacon for the arts. It's an art. And nobody does it better. Excuse me. Nobody does it better.
Maybe it's the way of the world that we're living in. Maybe it's the way you make me feel. Maybe it's nostalgia or a message from the universe. Maybe it's just keeping it real. Wish I was hanging out with you. It really doesn't matter what we do. Share a laugh, make a mess, howl at the moon, but I digress. It's true. Wish I was hanging out with you. Everything we've done and everything we're doing, it's a road that goes and goes and never ends. Memories like honeybees, the sweetness stings a little bit. What I'd give to live it all again. Wish I was hanging out with you, because it really doesn't matter what we do. Share a laugh, make a mess, howl at the moon, but I digress. It's true, it's true. Wish I was hanging out with you. Wish I was hanging out with you. Wish I was hanging out with you.
So, would you come back to an Improv City show?
Yeah, I would every week if I could.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Improv City.